Hello, CSC 151, Computer Applications. I'm going to try this video again. The first one seemed to have gone like for the first 3 minutes and then decided it didn't want to do anything anymore. And I hope it wasn't just because I zoomed in on the page. So I have this little arrow over here. That's the information that was over here. Just click the little arrow, it goes away. So I'll just go and recreate this and we'll start over. So first and foremost, let me just select everything off my index page and delete it. Start fresh. And in this video, we're going to be going over tags. What exactly are tags? Tags are essentially the start point and end point of a program, or of an item in the program, I should say. So if I say HTML, and you notice that, there's my start tag, and there's my end tag. Notice the end tag is identified by this little slash. That's basically me saying that here's the start of my hypertext markup language, here's the end of my hypertext markup language. Ergo, everything inside of this is in HTML formatting. And in an HTML document, there are kind of three parts. There is the head. The head is where we place metadata. What is metadata? Metadata is simply data about data. If you've ever gone and bought something on Amazon and then go to your Facebook and you see, oh my, everything I'm getting advertising for all the stuff that's very similar to the stuff I just bought off of Amazon. That's metadata. Metadata is, you can track where people's mouse moves on a console. You can figure out what they click on, what page they visited. This would be very important stuff if we had ourselves if we were a professional website designer and we wanted to find out, hey, we want people to get to the 7th page, but they're stopping at the 6th. Why are they stopping at the 6th? Can they not find the link? Are they just getting bored? Do we need to move these pages around? That sort of stuff. It's important if you're a website designer. We're not going to use it in this class. Another area we have is the style section. And the style section is basically for changing, font sizes, colors, that sort of stuff. We're editing different objects. We also, if you noticed, have a cascading style sheet that has all that sort of stuff outside. And that's probably actually the best way to do it, would be to have just one single sheet and then just have, a simple line that references, hey, go to this sheet to find the styles, so that you only have to type it in once. That's also good, but we're not going to use a style area either. The only area we're going to be concerned about right now in this class is the body. What is the body? The body is basically what you see on the page. So I type something in, that something that was in is on the web page. It's something we see. It's something that will show up for the user. Now you may notice, if I hit a bunch of enters here, it doesn't do anything. Nothing happens. There are no enters. Likewise, if I do a bunch of tabs, nothing happens. All this blank space you see is for our eyes only. If I really wanted to make a tag if I really wanted to make an indent, or if I really wanted to make a new line, I would have to enter tags for that. HTML runs on tags. So if I do BR for break, that breaks it down to a new line. If I do another BR, it breaks it down to another new line. Do another BR, it breaks it down to another new line, so on and so forth. Now you'll notice, HTML has an ending tag. Body has an ending tag. Break does not. There will always be exceptions to the rules. Images will also be another exception to the rule. But generally speaking, whatever you start, you must end. Whatever you start, you must end. Now, another example of exception, since I already have this here for, tabbing over. If I do ampersand EMSP semicolon, oops, no, not EMSP, oh, that's a $sign, not an ampersand. Where's the ampersand? Ampersand. There we go. It makes a tab. If I do that again, ampersand EMSP semicolon, it makes another tab. Now, it'll make a different tab if I do a M or an N. One's 2 spaces, one's 4 spaces. And that, of course, is a completely ridiculous way to do tabs as well. It would be much better to use paddings and indentations, and we can set all that sort of stuff up using tags. But that's basically how tags generally work. I would recommend instead would be to say paragraph. So if you have a paragraph here, and then I just start another paragraph tag there, and notice the program really tries to make an ending tag whenever it notices something. And these 2 lines of gibberish are on 2 separate lines. There's space in between them, because paragraph starts, paragraph ends. Paragraph starts, paragraph ends. And it doesn't matter how much, complete utter gibberish I type in over here, even if it's all on one line, because of the way a paragraph works, it will wrap text. Okay? And same thing with anything else. So I'm just going to... Actually, I'll keep this paragraph, and I'll keep this paragraph, but I'm going to just delete this line right here. I'm just going to say, hello world, and I'll say, hello world down here as well. I have myself 2 paragraphs, they both say hello world. And let me... you have a space in front of you, don't you? There we go. Now, once again, the spacing doesn't actually matter except for human eyes. I like just having visually the ability to see straight down where one thing starts and one thing ends. So I can use that very easily. The indentation helps. And it'll also help you out once we get into Python coding, because Python coding, the indentation actually matters. So get in the practice of making sure everything is indented further along as far as inside the objects it is. What I mean by objects, well, you see how I have this little drop-down menu? So everything that's inside here is inside my HTML. Everything that's in my body, between that body and this body, belongs inside the body. Everything that's inside this P to this P is inside that paragraph. So basically, think of it like a Russian nesting doll. You take it out, there's a smaller doll inside. So just make sure you have, the dolls working the way they're supposed to. Now then, we have ourselves paragraphs, and if P is paragraph, well, what do you think B is? B is bold. So there, I've made a tag for bold, and there's an ending for bold. But currently, the only thing that's bolded right now is a space. So let me just cut that hello world and put it inside. And you'll see that hello world, the first one, because there's the start of the bold and the end of the bold, became bold. And same thing if I were to switch this to an I. Now you'll notice it tries to tell me, hey, you have an I starting tag, but you don't have an I ending tag. There's my I ending tag. Now, my first hello world is also italiced. And if I go with a U, well, it's obviously going to be underlined. Boom, now my first one is underlined. You'll also notice that if I don't have an underlined tag that ends, it's going to assume that everything is underlined for all eternity. So whatever you start, you must end. You set your start point and your end point. So what if I wanted this, though, to be underlined and bold? Okay, well, I would need to just have it be inside both the underline and the bold. And of course, I want to do italics as well. Well, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I just make sure that it's inside the italics as well. So you have start of the italics, end of the italics, ergo this is inside the italics. Start of bold, end of bold, ergo this is inside the bold. Start of underline, end of underlined, ergo this is inside the underlined. So it is both bold, italic, and underlined. And if I wanted to, maybe take the hello out and make the hello only italiced, well, there it is. It's inside the italic, but it's not inside the bold or the underlined. Computer programming languages always go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, unless you tell it otherwise. So look at it this way. Step 1 is I. Step 2 is hello. Step 3 is bold. Step 4 is underline. Step 2 happens before step 3 and 4. It's literally just going in order of when I tell it to. You're inside the I, but you're not inside the B and the U. And that's how you get this hello world. So it's just a matter of starting and stopping things at certain points. Now, we also can have, very easily, an H1, which stands for heading 1. Heading 1 is a preset. It's that font size and it's bold. If I were to, make this heading 2, you'll notice that heading 2 is also slightly bigger and bold, but it's not as big as heading 1. There are a couple presets, and I believe they kind of go all the way up to like F6, I believe. Maybe they do F7. I don't know if they do F7. Is F7 existing? No, F7 doesn't exist. So they go up to F6, which is teeny tiny but still bold. Now, there's a few things like that where there's preset information in a simple, already pre-existing tag. And you can set those pre-existing tags in a style sheet or up at a style tag up on the page up top somewhere. However, we're not going to do that. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to go inside these tags and edit something entirely. So if I have H1 something something something, and it'll wind up, changing something about that H1. So, or if I were to go into the paragraph and go something something something, and I'll change something about that specific paragraph. So, see you all in the next video. I hope this one actually works this time. But that's what tags are. They're just start points and end points of data. We start something, we end it. Whatever's inside of it has the features of that object. And that's all we're doing in coding for HTML. We're just starting and stopping different points of data. Different containers, if you want to think of it like that. See you in the next video. You have a great day.